Starting, all attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Manohar, on behalf of NEN and Wadhwani Foundation, would like to welcome you all for this webinar and also introduce our experts, Ms. Marlena Ramchandran and Uday Wankawala from NEN. Marlena is the entrepreneurship consultant for Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. She manages the development of NEN member academic institutions and helps institute build high-impact entrepreneurship programs for students and entrepreneurs by assessing their needs, building and structuring programs and activities, and connecting the institutes to necessary resources within and outside NEN. She comes to NEN with nearly 12 years of experience in sales, marketing and development, having worked with brands such as Radio Mirchi, Kotak and the British Council. She has a bachelor's degree in English literature from St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad, and a master's of business administration degree from Gujarat University. Now talking about Uday Wankawala. Uday Wankawala is the entrepreneurship consultant in Maharashtra regions, where he helps member academic institutes build and deliver solid entrepreneurship programs and courses. Additionally, as NEN's program lead for innovation and incubation, he focuses on helping highly motivated institutes build the incubation infrastructure needed to support high growth entrepreneurs. He comes to NEN with 14 years of experience in education, online learning, marketing and public relations. Uday holds a postgraduate degree in management from Mumbai University. So before I hand over the floor to Marlena and Uday, here are a few reminders for the audience. You will be on mute by default. You may ask a question by typing in panel provided to you, or if you wish to speak to the speaker directly, then you may click on the raise hand button. You will be provided the audio access only when QA session will begin towards the end of session. Please ensure to share the list of participants with us once the webinar is over, and we will conduct polling in between the session. Please do ensure to participate in each of the poll. So now over to you, Marlena and Uday.
Thank you so much, Manohar.
Right.
On behalf of Uday and myself, Marlena, I welcome all of you to this webinar. Entrepreneurship Week India, this is something which all of us keep waiting for throughout the year. So I can understand, the energies must be all-time high right now for all of you. So let's immediately get started. The way we want to talk about this webinar today is we are going to spend some time to speak to you about what Entrepreneurship Week is all about. Why do we celebrate this, right? What is it that the institutes bring into this? After that, what we are going to do is we do get a lot of queries on, what are the awards criteria, how are we judged, what are some of the activities that we do. So me and Uday, we will try and speak to you about the specific awards for this week, what exactly happens during the judging process, and what are the key criteria that you should look at when you plan your activities and events for these awards, right? And after that, you may keep noting your questions as and when you have, and we will spend some time later on to answer all the questions that you may have. So keeping that in mind, let's start off with trying to actually understand what is Entrepreneurship Week all about. So if you go back 10 years down the line when we actually started celebrating entrepreneurship, it was a very unheard term of. So what we realized at that point of time is, if we want to make entrepreneurship really big, it has to be a celebration. People must feel that, entrepreneurship is the way forward, and we have to create entrepreneurs if we want to do well for India. So that is the concept with which, we launched Entrepreneurship Week. We will talk about its history a little later. So we started the first e-week sometime in 2007, and the first e-week was done from Feb 24 to March 3rd. Right? We started with 160 institutes across 25 cities, which was a small number. And today, like I said in my previous webinar, we have lost count. We have institutes all across India, raring to participate. Every year we get institutes from distant regions who come and inquire and who want to compete for e-week. So e-week is big now. So all of you are a part of a big campaign wherein you will talk and celebrate entrepreneurship. What we do during e-week is, essentially we ask institutes to celebrate the concept, do events, do activities, right? We've also included some online contests. And most importantly, during e-week, we ask everybody to take the e-week pledge. So for many of you by now, you must have already by-hearted the pledge, but the pledge will be anyways available for you on the e-week website to take and, reaffirm your commitment to entrepreneurship. Over the years, e-week has grown, we've got a lot of new partners. Initially, when we started, we had to reach out to different people and tell them what e-week was about. Now we have a lot of corporate partners, a lot of government, reaching out to us, to partner with e-week. So basically, e-week, for you, not only is a celebration, but it will also work as a big activity to reinforce your commitment to everybody else on campus that you are a part of the entrepreneurship movement in India. So what is it that we look for when we do e-week? When we say this is the objective of e-week, what is it that we are looking at? So, but obviously the first thing that we look at e-week is, it is about creating large-scale public awareness for entrepreneurship. Let's say you are in a small city like Hubli, or or maybe I come from Indore, so Indore, right? So when you are doing your e-week on campus, is your city knowing that your institute is doing e-week? How much buzz are you creating around entrepreneurship? How much are you telling the city's people that entrepreneurship is important? That is what you'll have to take care of during Entrepreneurship Week. Right? What you will also have to look out is, are you doing stuff around support for entrepreneurs, right? So in the initial days when we started e-week, I'm sure all of you would have done B-plan competitions, Rangoli competitions, fashion shows, etc. But what is it that real impact that you're creating around e-week? So that's what e-week 2015 is going to look at. Obviously, you will have to look at the opportunities rather than the problems that are facing India, and focus and position yourself as leaders and innovators in the entrepreneurship space. So that's e-week for you, the start. I'm going to hand over to Uday now. Uday is going to take you through the next part of the webinar, and then I'll come back to talk to you about some of the other awards. Over to you, Uday.
Hey, thank you so much, Malina. Thank you so much for setting the context. And this is awesome. We are reaching out to more than hundreds of audiences through this webinar. I mean, that shows the kind of excitement that's already built at our campuses. And that is what we are really looking forward to in terms of your participation, not just participation, but the same commitment and the passion that you show on campus. The Entrepreneurship Week 2015 should reflect that. I'm sure you would be wondering about every year we come out with new things, because entrepreneurship is all about inventing, reinventing yourself. So out here what we are really talking about and what we have introduced is three new things or three new categories. One is definitely we want to reach out to more and more campuses, and it's not just restricted to only NEN member institutes or our ever engaging institutes. It's open to all institutes. So that's one of the kind of new things that we have evolved this year. Second thing is definitely we are launching a new category, that's NEN Outreach Award. That's something very amazing, or that's something exciting for us as well, because what we want our institutes, our participating institutes to do is something that NEN has been doing for years. We'll get into the details about NEN Outreach Award in a separate slide, and I'm sure that's going to be exciting for each one of you. And third, and the most important, and I'm sure you would have seen all the updates on our Facebook page as well, is we have gone global. NEN has gone global, and then this year we are extending Entrepreneurship Week to 3 more countries. That's Pakistan, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So this is what we are really talking about. That's what the excitement is all about, and I'm sure you would have a lot of fun doing many things, but not, as you would know, Entrepreneurship Week is not just fun. It's a lot of serious business as well of creating impact. So we love to see more and more jobs getting created, or more and more student ventures getting created, or entrepreneurs getting supported through e-week 2015. So that's what we are really talking about. Okay, can we move on to the next slide?
Yeah, I have changed today.
Thank you. So as everyone would know, last year through a lot of I would say requests from our campuses that, hey, it's National ceremony, and then we are doing many things at our specific regions and regional level as well. This should really get it focused on, and then a lot of campuses are getting self-sufficient, and then it's something that each of the regional campuses would like to take up leadership role and then celebrate the award ceremony at their own region, and that's where we introduced the concept of regional award ceremony. So this year as well, we are continuing with the last year trend. So what we have is, which includes Delhi, Gurgaon, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Chhattisgarh. In central, we have Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra. In east, we have West Bengal, Odisha, Assam, and Jharkhand. And in south, what we are talking about, and that's where we have seen so much of excitement, NEN being based in Bangalore, and a lot of campuses from Coimbatore, and a lot of places that Trivandrum that we would really love to see more excitement with is Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Kerala. So these are the 4 regions. We'll get back to you on who's going to host it in due course of time, close to the e-week date. So you will get to know about it. And so that is what we are really talking about. So 4 regions would be celebrating, and then I'm sure at all the 4 regions it would be a similar excitement, and we were really pretty much surprised as well. Rather, it was a kind of a pleasant surprise for everyone at NEN team to see last year that on the same day, 4 different regions celebrating Entrepreneurship Week, and I mean, it was at the same extent what we had previously at national level as well. So that is what we are really talking about.
In fact, Uday, can I add something?
Sure.
Yeah. So just to, add to what Uday was saying, one small note, specifically in Indore last year, when we were having these ceremonies, there was so much excitement. I'm sure this excitement was across all campuses, all cities. But in Indore, we had planned an open air, ceremony, and just before the ceremony, it started raining. So everybody can imagine the kind of, enthusiasm, dampening spirit that happened, at that point of time. Luckily, before it rained, the weather was really bad, but it rained just for 15-20 minutes, and then it was an awesome weather for everybody to enjoy the ceremony. So, a lot of things like this happen during e-week, which just brings us, it just strikes an emotional chord, for everybody. So this year, we have learned one lesson, that we are going to try and keep, something in-house, so we don't have to worry so much about rains and, other unforeseen circumstances. So let's hope for a rocking entrepreneurship, regional ceremony this year across all 4 campuses. Over to you, Uday. Just wanted to share that small note actually.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, that's where we got so much of excitement and updates from different regions, south and north as well. And that's where our team on field were tweeting about it, and there were like live updates going on. And one incident that you shared about Indore, I mean, similarly, we had like one of our team members said she had good goosebumps, like in a way that she said, hey, this is what we used to own it, NEN used to take leadership role, and then now campuses have taken it over, but the excitement is almost same as what we had earlier as well. So yeah, the e-week awards, I'm sure everyone is waiting about what the e-week awards and what sort of category and the parameters that we have set for this year. So Malina, if you could just go through mainly the generic part of the e-week awards, I'll get into the specifics of what are those categories.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, every time, though institutes have been celebrating e-week, this is one question which all institutes constantly keep having, that on what criteria, why did this institute win and why did I not win despite putting in so much? So, before we even get to the spirit of winning, there is one point that I would like to bring across is, let's all please remember that Entrepreneurship Week is about celebration of entrepreneurship. Right? Let's think about celebrating it. The awards will of course come in due course of time, but let's just not do it just for the sake of awards. Let's look at the larger spirit of entrepreneurship. That is when we really enjoy entrepreneurship on our campuses. So keeping that point in mind, of course, it's an award ceremony and it is a competition, and, every year institutes gear up and, become better and better in entrepreneurship. So let's just quickly look at some of the criteria that, the panel of judges looks at when they give these awards or when they decide what the awards are for. The institute, which competes, one of the first things that the judges look for is, what kind of leadership role is the institute playing in the ecosystem, right? So this they try to understand, obviously, from the documentation that you sent to us, and also from what you've been doing throughout the year on your campus. So the scale of programs, the kind of engagement that the institute team has into these programs, that is a big criteria that the judges look at. They also look at what are the kind of efforts that you are putting in to inspire, launch, and support entrepreneurs. As all of you understand, the ultimate goal of any entrepreneurship, has to be creation and support of entrepreneurs. Otherwise, it just gets limited to, an activity which is shown on paper. So EWEEK wants to take entrepreneurship at the highest level, which is why the institutes which play a role in specifically inspiring, launching, and supporting entrepreneurs, in our opinion, these are the institutes which have moved up the ladder. So they do get brownie points for that. The kind of programs that you run on campus are also considered. So if an institute has come with a list of 50 events, which are just limited to, fashion shows and, paper modeling and small activities, compared to that, if an institute comes with a list of 10 programs, but very high impact programs, which include mentor sessions, specific networking with entrepreneurs, etc., very high impact, obviously they stand to gain a larger point in EWEEK. Since EWEEK is about mass scale awareness, what kind of buzz you are creating both on campus and in the city, and at what scale, is also considered. So for example, we had an institute which worked around, a Guinness Book World Record last year. So, that was a huge large scale awareness campaign, so that is something which was definitely considered, right? We have institutes running, awareness programs. We had an institute in Mysore 2-3 years back which worked on Clean the Hill campaign. So the problem that they identified was that the hill was very dirty, and they wanted to put the message across that we need to keep our city clean. So they actually got the mayor of that city to come and clean the place. So while right now, so we have a Clean India campaign wherein you have a lot of people, any which ways, playing a role, but it was a new concept that point of time, and they did get the award because of that. You're also judged on
Marlena,
kind of.
Would like to. Yeah, so sorry to interrupt, because then I'm sure there might be questions that when we say large scale awareness, I mean, what is the kind of outreach or the number of people that we are really looking at? So the couple of campuses that you shared about, what was the kind of numbers that we reached out to, how many people and what sort of community?
So large scale generally, involves in numbers like 1,000 plus, so that is large scale. And it will also, one is the numbers, and the second is also the kind of qualitative awareness that you reach out to. So, have you partnered with media? What kind of partnership have you brought in with the media? So that will also be considered apart from the number of participants when we talk about large scale awareness. So we will study the reach. So if you're saying that you have partnered with FM, what is the reach of that FM in that city? If you have partnered with a leading publication, what is the circulation of that publication? So, we are all of these minute criteria are taken into account when EWEEK awards are given. And one more thing that, I specifically want to bring across is, while you may do additional, fun activities during EWEEK to engage the students, right? But when we judge the EWEEK awards, it is going to be specifically on relevant activities to EWEEK. So you may send us, reports of 50 activities, but the judging panel will only take into account, what is relevant to EWEEK. Rest of the things are not really important for EWEEK. So I would request all of you to please keep that in mind. And last but not the least, it is important in entrepreneurship to reach out to newer partners and identify different expertise and see how you can pull in all of this and, towards the larger objective. So the larger the number of partners that you bring in and relevant partnerships, you get points for that as well. So
Yeah,
these
just
are
to add,
factors.
just to add, when we say entrepreneurship ecosystem, I mean, what that really talks about is agencies like MSMEs or other players working on entrepreneurship like TIE or any angel networking platform, or someone that's really supporting entrepreneurs, or they might have launched new and then you have given them a platform within the region. I mean, that is what we are really talking about when we say entrepreneurship ecosystem players, is we would like to involve as many players as possible, and through them as well we can reach out to the entire community of entrepreneurs and startups.
So that's, thank you, Uday. So that's about the larger, overarching part of eWeek Awards. Let's now go to awards category, which Uday, you can take up.
Yeah. So what we have is 15 awards per region. That is what we are really talking about, and that should be your target. And that's the reason I'm sure everyone out there is there attending this webinar. Malina rightly said that, I mean, award is one thing, but again, it's about celebration of entrepreneurship. But I would like to add that go with the kind of passion that you would like to see yourself on the stage receiving those awards. Otherwise, I mean, there would be some kind of lack in your commitment, if at all, if you're not aiming for the awards. So yeah, what we have is Premier Awards and Special Awards. So Premier Awards, we have 3. Runners-up, 3 numbers. Honor Roll, 4 numbers. I mean, 4 campuses would get it. There might be questions what Honor Roll is all about. So Honor Roll is a campus that have missed out on the runners-up and the Premier Award, but then we really appreciate the kind of enthusiasm and the kind of commitment they have shown, and we really feel and we expect that campus to be there in Premier or runners-up category for the next year. So we don't want to discourage any of the campus that has done tremendously well, and yeah, so that is what we are really talking about in terms of the honor roll. And what we have is debut awards as well. That is 2 numbers. So the campus is in the network as a new campus and participating for the first time in Entrepreneurship Week will get the debut awards. So we have in the Premier Awards category overall 12 institutes that would be awarded. And in the Special Awards category, eWeek at School, which has been there for last 4 years. So that's where we talk about rupees 50 exercise. So you need to reach out to as many number of schools and as many number of students, kids in that school, and spread the awareness and then do 50 rupees exercise. eWeek at School Innovation Award that we started last year. And that is where we have seen a lot of good traction, and then a lot of school students really talking about innovation, prototypes, or something that would amaze you, that would amaze your campus, your faculty, your students, because the kind of level of thinking the students come up with in innovation, it's boundaryless. So that is what we are really talking about. So eWeek at School Innovation Award, and there is eWeek Outreach Awards as well. So overall there are 15 awards per region, and that is what I'm sure everyone would be aiming for, and then accordingly as per your strengths of the campus you can really focus on a specific category, and overall, yeah, for sure everyone should really go in for the Premier Awards, 3 numbers. I mean, that's what your target should be. So then what we have is the awards criteria. There are specific criteria that has been there. So, I mean, without which I'm sure you wouldn't be really eligible for the awards. So what that criteria is all about, obviously you should be an academic institute. You should have applied for various categories of eWeek 2015 on the eWeek website. That is a mandatory thing. You need to submit all the required information in the relevant formats for evaluation. And you need to agree to the terms and conditions of the award process. So each and every detail has been put up on our website, eWeek website. So I would request all of you to refer through the website. I mean, it should be there in your favorites link now. because a lot of times you would have to refer to EVIC website for a lot of details. The above are given two categories. So obviously every year, and then this year is no different case. What we have is two different set of category of institutes. That's a small campus and a large campus, a big campus. So we really qualify the campus as institutes with less than 500 students. That's a small institute category, and institute with more than 500 students, that's a large big campus category. And very important, and that's where last year we saw a kind of lot of campuses really getting into a kind of competition mode of it's not just about celebrating within this entrepreneurship week or within this 6 or 7 days. What EVIC Awards is meant now is weightage would be given to 50% for annual impactful activities and 50% for EVIC activities. So that is what we are really looking forward to from each one of you.
Uday, one thing I'd like to add here.
Sure.
One change that we have brought into the application process this year is, till last year we used to invite the plan for EVIC in an Excel format from all of you. So this year we have put that completely online, and this registration will be open till 31st of Jan. So my suggestion to all of you would be to please put your plan in place first. We have put in a guidelines document on how you need to categorize your activity. So, whether it's a speaker activity, whether it's a conference, whether it's a workshop, So please go through the guidance document to understand, where you need to fit your activity under which section. And then when you put your application online, you will be asked for specific activities under specific heads. So, it will be easy for you to put in all your application online. Also, for all of you who have been competing for EVIC, your username and password would have been mailed to you from the evic@nenglobal.org ID. If you have not received a username and password, please send an email to evic@nenglobal.org. So the team will create your password and mail it across to you. Yeah, back to you there. Or you want me to continue on this? Okay, so I think I'll continue with this slide. Some important information on Premier Awards that you need to know. When we said we will give 50% weightage to the activities that have been done throughout the year. So the dates that we are going to consider are the entrepreneurship programs that you have run from 1st April 2014 to 31st Jan 2015. All of this information, we will be looking at the NEN INCAPNI portal, wherein you would have updated all this information. In case you have any problems accessing INCAPNI, in the next slide we will share the details with you. Please ensure that all your up-to-date information is updated on NEN INCAPNI from 1st April to 31st Jan. What you also need to update is, because EVIC is about impact, and every year EVIC has been scaling up as a concept, we really need to understand your institute's role in actual creation of student entrepreneurs. So again, on the NEN online portal, you will need to give us details of student entrepreneurs on your campus, graduating startups. So for example, if you have any students who are going to graduate in the year 2015 who are running their own startups, you will need to give those details there. You need to give us details of students from your campus who are joining startups. The reason why we ask this for is, what we understand is when a student joins a startup, it is with an intention of learning how a startup functions and later on to, start his own startup. And we would want to have details on students interning with startups, because this gives us clear details on the institute's commitment towards entrepreneurship. We have not talked about the theme, so I'll just put a brief on the theme as well. So this year the theme is for EVIC is creating jobs for millions. So we feel, the ultimate measure for any entrepreneur would be how many jobs is he creating. That's the biggest measure of success, because he is growing, he is contributing to someone's family, and he is contributing to India's growth. So that is going to be the theme for this year, creating jobs for millions. Please ensure whatever programs you organize are relevant to the theme, because that will be a criteria for judging EVIC, How relevant are your programs to the themes that have been announced? And but obviously, we have already spoken about large-scale public engagement and ongoing high-impact programs. So all of these will be considered when we look at EWIC Premier Awards. Let's quickly have a look at the special awards. Most of you would be familiar with this, but I'll just quickly give you an overview on this. EWIC at the Rate School Award, the 50 rupee activity was constituted, so that you can start reaching out to schools. In the simplest sense, you need to go and conduct the 50 rupee activity at as many schools as possible. You are judged by the total number of school students that you cover through this activity. Please ensure that you give us effective and adequate reports, when you submit documentation for this, because this is purely a numbers-based award. So we will do a lot of auditing on this front, before we announce this award. So you may go through the resource kit on the EWIC website. It has all the details on what you need to submit. So please ensure that relevant information comes to the judges so decision making becomes easy for them. Wherever we find that we do not have authentic information or we have incomplete information, it may not be possible for us to judge that institute. We started off with the EWIC at the Rate School Innovation Award last year, which was received with a lot of enthusiasm. So we plan to continue that award this year. What you need to do in this is you need to reach out to schools, run innovation competitions across schools, identify top 2 projects from all of these competitions which are based on innovation. These are the impact areas that you can look at: environment, water, energy, technology, health, housing, and transportation. So in these areas, we are looking at innovative projects. The innovation can either be in the form of a model or in the form of a project description. But if it is a prototype, prototypes will get more weightage, because that means more work has gone into it. So each institute which competes for this needs to submit 2 top innovations that they feel will fit this award. And when the award will be given to the institute as well as the school which has been identified for this award. So 2 awards will be given as part of the School Innovation Award.
Yeah,
These were
like
the special awards. Yeah, Uday.
It's something wherein I'm sure a lot of campuses would ask that they might get around hundreds of projects. So what we have done, or our aim is to really prepare your faculty, your students to get into more of a kind of a mentoring mode, as well as a jury panel, shortlist those 100 projects. So don't come to us with array of projects, a variety of projects. What we need is top 2 projects that you have shortlisted. So our criteria is going to be also on how you have judged those projects. And that's very important for us to know. As Malin rightly said, that what we really look at is more of prototypes, or someone that you would have selected a kind of a project that is more at an advanced level, or the school kid has shown that kind of enthusiasm and passion to really turn that particular model or a project into a prototype or into a kind of a product. And that is what we are really looking at. So you need to be pretty much careful in shortlisting, because please don't miss out, because you may have around hundreds of projects, and there is a possibility that you may give us 2 of the projects and might have missed out a good one out of the rest of the 98, but then your shortlisting criteria should be very specific, and that is what it should follow, that it should be from impact areas and it should be submitted in the form of model charts. So that is what you need to communicate to the schools very clearly. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So Uday, it's over to you anyways for the next award.
Yeah, so the new category, that is EWIC Outreach Award. As I said in the beginning, what we are really looking at is what NEN has been doing over the years. We would love our institutes, we would love each of the academic institutes to reach out to as many campuses as possible. And when we say that, how would you reach out? This would be through number of institutes in your region that you would be reaching out to. I'm sure there might be questions that what about the campuses that are already celebrating EWIC or that is already a part of the network or have done something in entrepreneurship. We would ideally like you to only reach out to the campuses wherein there is a need to spread awareness about entrepreneurship rather than the ones that are doing a lot of impactful activities. You can, if they are not a part of NEN member institute or if they are not a part of the network, you can bring them into our fold and then we can guide them, handhold them. Rather, you should do that. So that is number of institutes touched, number of e-cells created. Understand that within a short time frame you can't really create e-cells. It's a long process, but what we are really looking at is you should orient each of the campuses to in the process of how they can form e-cells and then inspire them to create those e-cells over a period of time. Number of faculty trained, you need to again have an orientation session for the faculty on different campuses, that how you have taken an approach and how you have developed an ecosystem at your own campus and build a strong ecosystem. Similarly, you would like the other campuses, new campuses, to really take up those particular activities to a faculty. And number of awareness activities conducted at that particular different campuses. So what we are really intending to do out here is all the campuses that are participating, they don't restrict their activities themselves to only schools or their own campus. They need to reach out to other campuses as well and reach out to as many students community as possible. And I'm sure you would see amazing results, and then it would be definitely, I'm sure there will be more competition for our campuses as well, which is good for the quality. And even Tata First Lot participation, I'm sure a lot of times we really want to reach out a lot of student ventures, and then through your support, this is what we are really looking at. So it's the criteria and everything has been put up on the website. If at all any queries, we have a common generic ID for it. So please reach out to us through that mail ID. Malina, would you like to add anything on the outreach award?
Yes. Just one more thing that I would like to add is, see, when we launched this award, what we really want to do is, all of you know that NEN is a network and you are a part of the network. So the role that NEN has been playing with you for so long, we now want you all to become NEN for all the other institutes, right? So all of you are now experts doing a lot of things, right? So let's start reaching out to the community and spread awareness about entrepreneurship. And we have very clear criteria to judge you on this. Like Uday rightly said, we are not talking about number of, you cannot just create an e-cell and leave it at that. But what we are really expecting you to do is, go and orient students about entrepreneurship. At least identify a group of 10 to 12 students who will be a part of the e-cell and who will be running entrepreneurship activities on the campus, right? And orient some faculty about the relevance of entrepreneurship education. We will be giving weightage to all these 4 points when we judge you for this award. So the larger the number you reach out to, the more your chances of getting this award. So that's about e-week outreach award. Some important information on how to participate. Right? Like Uday told you, you will have to apply for the awards on the e-week website. All of you know the e-week website. It is, the details are mentioned below. It's eweek.nenonline.org. So you need to put in your application on the site. But please remember that when you put your application on the site, that is only your plan for e-week. So what we want to understand by 31st January is, what is it that you plan to do on your campus on the specific dates of e-week, right? All the information that you do, every activity that you do during e-week and before e-week, the information will have to be uploaded on INCAPME, the NEN online system, the Institute Capacity Measurement for Entrepreneurship. So for any queries that you have regarding INCAPME, if your ID is not working, incorrect passwords, while putting in information you are having some error, any problem that you have, you need to mail Maqsood. His ID is given here, maqsood@nenglobal.org, with a CC to priya@nenglobal.org. Please CC your local consultant as well. So if need be, the consulting team can also help you in getting this sorted. But please remember, we will not look out beyond INCAPME for any information. So everything has to come on INCAPME. Please ensure that you submit everything, all your plan, documentation, etc., in time. Time is very important, right? and whatever information you are unable to upload on InCapMe. So for example, InCapMe does not have a feature to upload pictures. So all of that has to come in as a mail to eweek@nenglobal.org. Okay. When you send emails to eweek, I have a small request. Please put in proper subject lines, so so it's easy for the judges or whoever is at the receiving end to sort your mails accordingly. So try to be very specific within the subject, mention the name of the institute, mention what is the mail about, right? If you're sending pictures, make sure they're of small size, right? So please make the judging process easy for us, so we come back to you with a decision faster. Very important points, which I would urge all of you to really go through all of these points. We would really appreciate queries to be mailed rather than calls. Responding to calls becomes very difficult because there are a large number of institutes and we cannot keep record of calls on phones, right? So please ensure all your queries are mailed to eweek@nenglobal.org. We will ensure that your queries are sorted out. But if there is any emergency, if you feel that something cannot wait, you may reach out to your consultant first, and your consultant will then direct it to the relevant people. But we would really appreciate mails to come in, and if you start working right now, I think there will be less time for panic towards the nearer when you near the deadlines. So please organize yourselves so that you meet the deadlines and you send the information to us well in advance. During registration process, like I told you, there is a guidelines doc that has been provided with the resource kit. This is available for downloading on the eweek website. Please download this, go through this, and then put in your registration for eweek. I want to bring across the point when you send pictures, every year during eweek this happens, our sites get, our mails get blocked by, the large sizes that you send, right? We know you've been doing a lot of things, right? And if one picture shows it all, please don't send us 10 pictures, right? What we really want to understand is, have you really done what you have been talking about, right? Have you done it during eweek? And, does it have the relevant eweek branding? Does it have details of the places where you have reached out to? So please try to look at it from the judge's point of view and send relevant pictures. Make sure, please don't send large size pictures because many times they don't reach us and then there's a lot of back and forth on you telling us that you have sent pictures and we not having received them, right? So please avoid sending, please put someone in charge of, documentation so they know what needs to be sent and how it needs to be sent. We will expect that all the pictures that you send us should have eweek branding in the background. Otherwise, we do not know when that picture has been taken, right? So please ensure that eweek branding is there in all the pictures that you send us, otherwise those pics will not be accepted for judging. An important point as far as reporting is concerned, we don't want long reports on the process that you have undertaken to do eweek. What we are really interested in is precise reports which summarize the number of events, maybe the number of attendees with specific details, brief about the event. If you have got PR around it, yes, we would want to see the press releases, right? And please limit your reporting to key events and activities of significant importance only, right? You may do lots of activities, but you know what we are going to judge you on. So please send us that information only. Any other planned events that you have given to us, we will try and cover them through the audit process. Deadlines. This year we are very clear. We have very limited deadlines, right? I am sorry, but we will not entertain any last-minute requests to accept reports, beyond the specific timeline. Our judges are busy. We have an external panel of judges whom we have appointed for this process. So, by 18th is the deadline. I will share the deadlines with you separately, but the documentation has to go to them during those deadlines so that we can announce the awards well in advance. So please remember, plan yourselves well in advance. We have given you enough time this year. So please plan yourselves and ensure that everything comes to us on time. Here's a look at the date. All of this will be available on the eweek website as well, but we can just quickly glance through it. The application process is now open from 19th Jan onwards. till 31st Jan, the site will be open for application process. Your EV@school activities, the time period is 19 Jan to 7th Feb. And for the NEN Outreach Award, it is from 24th Jan to 7th Feb. You need to submit all relevant documents for EV@school by 8th of February. So 8th Feb is the deadline for that. Beyond 8th Feb, we will not accept documentation for this. Right. Similarly, for the NEN Outreach Award also, we will expect the documentation by 8th of Feb. So 8th Feb we need. For a special award, documentation has to come to us by 8th of Feb. Anything that comes to us after that, we will not accept it. 18th Feb is the final date for the Premier Award documentation. So please ensure that all of this comes to us by 18th Feb. And 21st Feb, we will have the regional award ceremonies. Right? Like Uday said, we will announce the locations nearer to the date. So you can, but we will try and give you enough time to plan your travel in case you need to travel to another city. Right? So that's it. I think we are good to go.
Very
for
important.
If
if you could just again show the slide on the dates. I would like each one of you to block your calendar, and please understand at times we have been receiving kind of queries that we did so many things and we should have been there taking a Premier Award category, not the runners-up, but then please understand what you need to follow is each of the timelines. We want everyone to follow the timelines and then before the deadline, and that's one of the most important criteria in selection of campuses for the awards. If you do it much in advance, great. If you do it just before the deadline, great. But after the deadline, I'm sure that is what going to hamper your entire selection process. So just block these dates, very important for each one of you in your calendar, and then please adhere to it because that is what we are going to follow strictly of each of the deadlines. Yeah, thanks.
So that's it. Thank you, Uday. Thank you, everybody. With this, we are here in the midst of Entrepreneurship Week 2015. All the best, everybody. Let's go and do it. We can, we will. And the floor is open for questions.
Yeah, we can take questions for 5 minutes and then maybe we would just share some secrets of how to win the awards. Yeah, Malina?
Oh, yes. Uday, in fact, we can do that first. Why don't you give them the secrets?
Okay. So very important, that is the criteria, and then we'll get on to questions. Atisha, would that be fine?
Yeah, sure, that will be fine. Thanks, Uday.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much
for this interesting session. We have been receiving a lot of questions, so I'll read out some of them to you and take them.
Okay. First, we'll take the questions, Malina. I think that's what everyone wants.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm reading the first question now. The question is, the theme says creating jobs for millions. So does this mean the competition that will be held will create job instantly or help them create job for themselves? So,
oh, that's an interesting question. Uday, do you want to respond or you want me to respond?
Would love to. No, would love to address you this because that's very specific to the theme. What we are really talking about is creating jobs for millions. It's a process, right? I mean, it's not going to happen instantaneously. How you are going to help a particular student venture or an entrepreneur in supporting their startup and through which they are going to grow over a period of time and create as many jobs as possible. That is what we are really looking at. So it's a process, as I said. So whatever activities that you do during E-Week should focus on that entire process of how you are going to support through a kind of a workshop, a mentoring, through internships with startups, encouraging your students to join the startups. I mean, there are so many different activities that you can do and then support entrepreneurs and the startups. And also that includes aspiring entrepreneurs on your campus as well. So that is what we are really talking about, and that is what the impact you should be able to create. Within a week's time, we cannot really judge or then say that this many number of jobs are getting created. But throughout the entire year, I'm sure in your entrepreneurship cell, you would have done so many activities and supported, and that's where those numbers would reflect that how many jobs are getting created and being supported by your campus. So as we said, there are two criteria. One, during the week, so you should focus on the activities that is going to help out the campus to support the aspiring entrepreneurs, the existing entrepreneurs, and the early stage entrepreneurs. And the second part is before e-week as well, you would have done quite a few activities, so just report those numbers to us. And that is what creating jobs for millions is all about. Malina, would you like to add? I hope it was pretty much.
No, I think you've covered it quite well.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I understand we have a time constraint, but I'd still like to read one or two more questions.
Two more questions. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll take two more questions.
We have received a question. It says, for the e-week outreach award, should the institute be itself be responsible for all the 4 points, or is it okay if only e-cell looks after everything?
See, for us, the institute and e-cell go hand in hand, right? So the award will be given to the institute's e-cell. So whether it's the institute or the e-cell doesn't matter. But ideally, we would want it to happen through the e-cell. Hai na, Uday?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, next question, Maksood.
Okay, so
Sorry.
next question we have received is, for the e-week public awareness awards, should the awareness program be about theme of the e-week, or can it be any global cause?
We don't have a public awareness award this time. We have the Premier Award. So as a part of the Premier Awards, one of the activity that you do can involve public awareness. But we do not have a specific public awareness award this time.
So
was it about the outreach or the public awareness? I mean, was it about institute outreach? We'll take it up offline, Manohar, and we'll address that question later.
Okay. So one more question I'll read out to you. Okay. The question is,
sure.
On the website, it has been mentioned that there are 2 Innovation at School awards. So the asker would like some clarification on that.
We will get that rectified. There is one school innovation award, but it is given out to 2 people. So one is to the institute and one is to the school. So the number of awards is ideally the trophies are 2, but it is 1 award, one by one institute and 1 school. That's how it works.
So okay, now Adhyasa will
take only over. 1 category.
So okay, Adhyasa will now take over. Over to you, Adhyasa.
Hi,
yeah, before we wind up, I mean, we just wanted to share some secrets here.
Yeah, but I still have some more questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a couple of queries, Uday and Malina. If we really are considering any annual events, any signature events in entrepreneurship that the campuses are holding, are you considering them also for the e-week awards?
It would go into the 50% category earlier to e-week, but definitely would have a lot of weightage if it's a flagship event.
Okay. The next question would be like creation and support would really help them grow if a student has completed all activities, but it is not able to work as they do not have any expertise with NEN will help. So I think people are still confused about the kind of events and kind of programs that they are supposed to run during the event. So I think there's still a couple of questions coming in this regard. So I would really request you both to reiterate the kind of programs that they can take it up. The key programs, if you can announce about something, that would be really helpful for them. So multiple queries are coming in this regard, if they can do this kind of program or that kind of program. So I think if you can please reiterate that. So then, Malina, are we audible to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uday, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, it's more about like you are asking us to suggest what kind of activities, so that if they do the activities, then later on they can say that NEN has suggested, so that's the reason we take this activities, right?
I know this is a very difficult
Okay, no. Yeah, it's a very difficult question, but I would like to definitely address this. One is when we are saying creating, supporting entrepreneurs and then creating jobs, what we are really talking about is the platforms that you have created over a period of time at your campus. So the kind of sessions that we are really looking at is mentoring sessions that could be really effective. You could have more activities around that. Showcase events, that startup showcase. Internship with startups, that's another. And sure that's going to help the startups community a lot. Student Venture Showcase platform could be another, wherein it's not just kind of inspirational, but then at the same point of time, student ventures should get recognized on campus. So you should felicitate those students within E-Week. Alumni entrepreneurs, definitely bringing in as many alumni as possible back on campus, felicitating them, and that's going to be another good activity on campus. What we are really looking at around theme is be creative, guys. I mean, as much creative as you could be in terms of coming out with, because we can give you 1,000 different kind of ideas, but execution is up to you guys. So even if you put it up on your Excel sheet saying that we are doing this activity, but the objective is not really coming out of it, or the agenda of the activity, there is no point just giving it as an activity form. So you really need to match it, but then certain activities, as I said, like mentoring, running courses for entrepreneurs, or doing mentoring sessions, that is definitely would add a lot of value and weightage to this entire our parameters, matching up to our parameters. Malina, would you like to add?
Yeah. See, one or two things that I would like to really add here is, see, the reason why we've been talking about high impact activities, student entrepreneurs creation is, because we believe it is time for all of us now to move up in our efforts. There was a time when E-Week was about idea generation activity, which is still there, business plan events, which are still there, right? But how better and better are you making it each year? So E-Week is about you competing with yourself. How are you raising your benchmarks, for the activities that you have planned, right? So while this is the theme, we know that you need to give us high impact thematic programs, right? We can only share with you, things that have been done in the past. So for example, like Uday said, these are the things that you can do. We had one institute, which actually launched up a startup chapter specifically in the city, wherein they brought some 50 startups together to, and not only, is it important that they started this during E-Week, but what is important is, how sustainable is the stuff that you are starting on your campus. So you may do a program just for 1 week, but, it may have the potential to continue throughout the year. So, you'll have to look at it from a holistic point of view. Get creative, do your research, go out on the web, see what institutes across the world are doing in entrepreneurship, and, really go against the benchmarks and come up with creative things, So the institutes which do the best in this, which, really network, really go out, these are the ones who come out as E-Week winners. That's what E-Week is all about. Yeah. So I think that's it from my end, Adyaisha.
Yes. Thank you, Marlena. There is another question from one of the faculty. She's asking NEN outreach. It was mentioned in one of your PPT slides that NEN outreach from 24 Jan to 8 February. What does it mean? Is it establishing e-cells, trained faculty members, etc. during the period? So I think they're still having some issues in understanding what is this outreach award, and would need some clarity on that. And
okay, we'll try and re-clarify what
process. Yeah.
Yeah, but can we get back to that slide? I think that will be easier, Martin.
Yeah. So, the reason why we have given you more time for this is because it's an outreach award. What we are expecting you to do in this is we are expecting you to reach out to institutes where, there is minimum or, no entrepreneurship infrastructure present. By infrastructure, I mean nothing regarding entrepreneurship is happening on that campus. So you play the role of an evangelist, help them understand that if they want to get started on entrepreneurship, this is the bare minimum, this is the, step A that they will need to start off with. So what NEN used to come and do on your campus, you are now going to go and do that for this institute. You will go and form, talk to them about an e-cell, try and form the basic e-cell structure there. Try and orient the faculty there in entrepreneurship. Tell them, why they should be teaching entrepreneurship, why entrepreneurship is important for them from their career point of view. So do that, right? Try and do 1 or 2, basic entrepreneurship awareness activities, which engage students and help them understand that entrepreneurship is fun. So the more the number of institutes you reach out to, the scale and the larger sales that you create, the more the number of faculty that you reach out to, all of these points will get weightage when we give you this award. right? So that is the eWeek Outreach Award, specifically for you to become evangelists for entrepreneurship, for institutes where entrepreneurship is not present. And they're giving you more time for this, so that you can reach out to larger number of institutes. That's why we've given you more time for this.
Right, Marina.
I hope that clarifies.
Yeah, absolutely. So also to add to what you said, and they should also encourage them to come and participate in the events that they are organizing. It shouldn't be only limited to going and helping them, but also equally participating in each of the events and letting them know how things are happening at their campuses. They can come, the new institutes can come and learn from them, and definitely creating a bigger ecosystem to support entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship activities across India. So it was really...
Yeah, Adesha, you are giving out the smart ways now. I mean, that's what our intention is. Rather than you reaching out and then going there at particular campus, you can always invite the other campuses and then ask them to participate in your activities and include their report, include the participation of the institutes in your reports. I mean, that is what we are really talking about.
They will actually, because when we are going to one campus, possibly we will, because we have to reach out to a lot many campuses, we will be restricted with time, and the couple of programs that we will be running will be limited. But while we invite them to campus, and literally probably maybe the first year when you're doing this, like we have to literally push some institute to be a part of it. Maybe you have to take a little burden or a little effort to get them on campus for this program. But possibly once they come in and they see these things, and this can be a pipeline for different activities for you next year also. So this can possibly, you never know, you will be able to get a chance, a particular institute for hosting the event. So definitely this is going to be a great celebration this year, Uday and Marlena, and I think a lot of information that you have shared this time is going to help them out. This is the reason from last year we have started this webinar, to reach out to a lot many institutes and help them understand what is the purpose of doing it, and just because anyways they're spending a lot of time and energy and money in doing different kind of events, but that should be channelized to the right sector. Definitely this information is going to help them out. We will keep this webinar recording uploaded on our YouTube channel. And also we would see if we can also upload this video on the eWeek website as well, so that anytime if you want to refer to any specific information, because anyways while we talk we cover a lot of examples, a lot of information which you will definitely not find in the texty thing that is present in the eWeek website. So you can definitely go and refer to our website video recording anytime and can figure this out. Mostly this this will be available on the YouTube channel today itself, but it may take a couple of days for us to upload it on the eWeek website. So you can search for the NEN YouTube channel and see this video anytime you want to refer to. Alright, thank you so much Marlena and Uday for this interest.
Adesha, before we sign off, I'm so sorry, Adesha, before we sign off, you have promised them something.
Okay, sure, please go ahead.
Yeah. So just want to, so there are three things that we would be really looking at, our parameters. How effectively you are using your resources. So when we say resources, that's people, time, and money while celebrating eWeek. Second is eWeek branding. And the third and the most important is adhering to the timelines, the deadline. So if you stick to this, and then every time what we have seen on field is how a kind of premier award category winner is distinguished from a runner-up or an honors role is in their eyes, it's in their body language, it's the passion that they really talk about as a team. So what we are really talking about is work as a team, as a faculty, and ensure that whatever records or whatever updates that you give us in Excel sheet about your activities, it has to be there on ground, but happening particularly at that point of time, and there should be always plan B ready, because we do understand there might be challenges. You cannot follow the same kind of schedule that you have really reflected in your Excel sheet, but if you can, that would be great. If you can't, please inform us in advance. So that is what I just wanted to share. Marlena, if you would like to wrap up.
No, I think we are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So, and again, a reminder, please do update all the...
Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, sure, Malina. And there is one more. Again, I would like to just to remind audience, please do update all the information on InCapMe. It is really, really important because as Uday and Malina has already told you that 50% weightage would be given to the different kind of programs that you've conducted starting from 1st of April, which is really very important for you guys because if you're doing a lot of activities, why not to report it out on time? This will get you an award as well. So definitely, it was a valuable session, guys. Thank you so much for this. We are glad we are still receiving questions, but we are really sorry we can't take it up anymore. So please do write back to us if you need any specific queries. You can directly write to your respective on-ground team members, like NEN representatives in your respective cities, and reach out to them. And also you can write to us. As I said, this webinar will be available online on our YouTube channel. Please do go and visit for more information if you have missed on any information yet. And definitely all the very best for this session. Wishing you a very happy celebration of Entrepreneurship Week this time. We can, we will is a slogan, and definitely we can and we will. Thank you so much all. Wish you a very happy afternoon.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward to sleepless nights now. Thanks.
All the best. Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah, thanks.